Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the real story of Jordan Belfort, the man whose life was so insane Hollywood actually had to calm it down. Yes, this is the untamed, unfiltered rise and crash of the Wolf of Wall Street. And if you think you know the story, buckle up. You don't. From nobody to notorious. Before the mansions, the Swiss accounts, and the yacht that sank itself out of pure embarrassment, Jordan Belfort was a meat salesman. Yes, the future stock market criminal mastermind was knocking on doors trying to sell frozen beef by the pound. Surprisingly, it worked. Until it didn't. The business exploded, then imploded, and Jordan ended up bankrupt at 24. But he had one undeniable skill. He could sell anything to anyone, and that made Wall Street look like paradise. The education of a predator. He lands a job at L.F. Rothschild, ready to conquer finance. Then the 1987 market crashes. On his first real day, it's like training to be a pilot and immediately watching your airplane catch fire on the runway. Out of a job, low on money but high on ambition, Jordan discovers penny stocks, tiny, risky equities where brokers made huge commissions. Perfect for a gifted talker who wasn't picky about ethics. The birth of Stratton Oakmont. Jordan creates his own firm, Stratton Oakmont. A name so classy you'd expect royalty to store their antique wine there. Not a boiler room full of loud, ambitious sales maniacs fueled by caffeine and questionable life choices. But it worked. The phones never stopped. The brokers never stopped. And the money definitely never stopped. Stratton Oakmont grew into a billion-dollar empire based on charisma, chaos, and criminal creativity. Let's talk scams, the real mechanics. Time for the part that made Jordan famous, or infamous, the scam. Most people know the phrase pump and dump, but here's how his version really worked, step by step. The pump and dump master plan. Step 1. Buy huge blocks of penny stocks in secret. Jordan and his circle quietly purchased massive amounts of shares in tiny companies nobody had heard of, micro-cap startups, sketchy tech firms, and businesses that existed mostly on paper. Step 2. Train brokers to become hype machines. They use scripts filled with fake insider info, exaggerated predictions, emotional manipulation, pressure tactics, and pure, uncut confidence. If charisma had a noise level, theirs would have been breaking OSHA regulations. Step 3. Flood the market with hype. Investors bought in rapidly because the brokers made everything sound like the next Apple, Amazon, and the cure for aging, all rolled into one tiny 75-cent stock. Prices started to rise. Fast. Step 4. Jordan secretly sells at the top. This was the dump. He and his partners cashed out millions through offshore bank account, Swiss brokers, money smuggling, accounts in fake names. Step 5. The moment the hype stops, the stock collapses. Demand evaporates, prices tank, and investors are left holding shares that are now worth about as much as wet cardboard. Jordan, on the other hand, buys another Ferrari. Step 6. Repeat. Bigger. Louder, faster. This went on for years. Stratton Oakmont became one of the biggest pump and dump operations in American history. The private life torn apart. Meanwhile, Jordan's personal life made reality TV look like meditation. His first marriage fell apart. Then he married Nadine, the real Naomi from the movie. And their life together resembled a luxury soap opera on Fast Forward. There were mansions, sports cars, private jets, house parties that violated several fire codes, and drugs. A lot of drugs. Quaaludes, cocaine, pills, alcohol. If it altered consciousness, he probably took it. Twice. He crashed his Lamborghini while barely conscious. He nearly destroyed his yacht by demanding they sail in a storm. He was so high one night that police had to pull his daughter out of his arms because he couldn't stand. It was glamorous insanity. The FBI smells blood. Eventually, regulators started asking, why do investors keep losing money while this firm keeps throwing parties like they're allergic to moderation? The SEC got suspicious. The NASD got suspicious. And then the FBI joined the party. And unlike Stratton Oakmont, they play by the rules. They noticed the offshore accounts, the forged documents, the money couriers smuggling cash like it was an Olympic sport. One by one, the walls closed in. The fall of the wolf. Jordan was arrested and charged with securities fraud and money laundering. Crimes with sentences long enough to make you rethink every decision you've ever made. But Jordan had one last trick: survival. He cooperated. He wore a wire. He helped bring down his own company and colleagues, and in return, he got his sentence reduced to just 22 months in a low-security prison. For orchestrating a billion-dollar fraud, that's basically a long vacation with roommates. Rebirth, the reinvention. After prison, Jordan did what Jordan does best. He sold a story, his own story. He wrote The Wolf of Wall Street and Catching the Wolf of Wall Street. Hollywood pounced. Scorsese directed. Leonardo DiCaprio shouted and threw money in slow motion. The legend was reborn. Jordan reinvented himself as a motivational speaker, sales trainer, and public figure. Though critics point out, he still owes millions in restitution, and he's paying it back like he's on a monthly donation plan. The real legacy. So who is Jordan Belfort? A brilliant salesman? A reckless addict? A manipulative scam architect? A charismatic criminal? And an absolute master at reinventing himself? His rise was unbelievable. His fall was inevitable. And his comeback? Well, only Jordan could turn a federal conviction into a motivational business model. If you enjoyed the wild true story behind the Wolf of Wall Street, hit that like button harder than Jordan hit the Quaaludes. Subscribe for more unbelievable but true stories, and comment who I should cover next. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and remember, if a stranger calls you screaming about a guaranteed investment opportunity, hang up immediately. If you want more stories about money, influence, and the people who bend the rules, you're in the right place. Click the next video to keep exploring how power really operates behind the scenes. And subscribe so you never miss the analysis the news won't give you. Thanks for watching.